because when I was young, I had no interest in rugby.
What?
Uh, normally, no, like on Saturdays, like this is how it happens. On Saturdays, my father, you know how my father is.
Yeah,
He's like, besides Christianity, rugby is his religion.
that's true.
It is
That's true.
every Saturday morning, you watch the New Zealand games of Crusaders, Hurricanes, even Australia, the Reds, the Rebels. Every single Saturday, it's probably Saturday and Friday, and I would pay no attention to it.
Mm,
Then I think it was in grade six where I'm like, okay, they're doing what's this recruitment for under 13 rugby in our school.
okay.
I'm like, okay, let me see what this game is about. So obviously, I'm like, okay, father, I want to try rugby. Do you have any outfits or like, gym wear I can use for the sport? Hey, got excited, pulled out the first thing, shocks, shocks, and I'm like, oh, obviously, Sharks supporter, so why not? Coach first saw me, he saw the Sharks jersey, and the first name he just said, Beast.
You said beast. Oh man.
I'm
I
like,
think
whoa,
I think
what's going on?
for every single black prop, the first thing coaches say when they see you like a prop that's about to play and he's a black kid, they're gonna scream beast.
Like,
He's
honestly.
yeah, he's the benchmark for black props in South Africa.
Great. Yeah,
Okay.
so like after that, played a few games. Obviously I had to get my fitness up because
Uh-huh.
I am not even a slim dude. So things were a bit hectic first few weeks. After I got the hang of it, got my fitness up, I'm like, wait, is this I like this physicality. I'm
Mm.
enjoying the intensity and the attention that you get even in the school. Because
That's true.
like nothing is great. Like middle of the school day, announcer, all under 13 rugby players, please report to the buses. And you just walk.
Yeah, leaving school early, that kicks ass. That kicks ass. I used
It
to
was
love it too.
amazing.
Mm.
After that, high school, I still enjoyed it like for fun, but then I started being noticed by like coaches for provincials and said, no, this one can take it to the
Mm.
next level. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh, okay, let's do this.
Okay.
And I started like upping the tempo, taking like everything serious, and then everything started aligning itself. Besides the major like bumps along the road, but other than that,
That happens,
it
man.
just
That
became
happens. That
sailing.
happens. Mm. Okay. All right. Well, that's a very interesting, come up, Lolo, definitely. And I mean, because I know in some of those snippets I was there, to witness your come up. I remember just having a conversation with your pops, and I was like, listen, for Lolo's size, man, and he's still growing, it's important that we encourage him to carry on with rugby because I think, we think, yeah, you definitely have a future, just based on how smart of a player you are and just your approach to the game. And what one thing I liked, like about the fact when I worked with you was how coachable you were. You know, I know we never had a lot of sessions together, but the few sessions we had at the High Performance Center, I liked the fact that I would give you, a certain training exercise to do, and you never complained once. You just
Mhm.
got on with it, and you were just like, all right, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. And I think, so long as you have that attitude, I promise you, Lolo, um, doors are always going to open for you within the game of rugby. So long as you have that coachable attitude. The day you
Mhm.
decide that you're bigger than the game and you think that you know more than the coach, just know that that's the beginning of the end, for you. So it's good that you've got this attitude of always wanting to learn more. And yeah, man, just keep going with that. All right. Okay, so now let's talk about your first Blue Bulls Youth Club experience. How was that like, man? To obviously you being a Pretoria kid, how did it feel to put on that blue jersey, that blow tray? Tell us.
Ah. spiel for the blow biller. It was something else because like as much like how I got to there was what made it more also of a great moment because
Mhm.
a couple of years I have been to the trials and I'll always go to the second round and then not make the cut. But
Uh-huh.
then it was 2018 where I was literally putting my all and everything. So I was nominated to go to the final round, the final selection. But then
Mm.
on that day in the morning, I had a game for Tux, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I had to play, and I was even nominated captain there for that game for the first time. And obviously, I took things serious.
Okay.
And then eventually, as the game went on, I injured my shoulder.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, no ways. Not on the most important day of my life.
Oh man, that happens, man. It happens. Trust me. So
So
how did you overcome that?
my father just said, nah, like we have to make a plan. No, like you have to push through.
uh, uh,
And I'm like, nah, let me man up, let me put
mm,
some deep heat spray
mm.
and let's go to this finals, those trials. And now
Oh,
you know how you've been to trials, like it's unorthodox. Like you can
yeah,
play
very
one full game, they can make you play another one until they're happy with their selection.
true.
So I played the
True.
first full game and adrenaline was pumping. I didn't feel my shoulder at all. I
Hmm.
played the best of my ability. And then they actually said we have to play another one. I'm like, are you serious?
Mm.
Like this is literally the third game I'm playing today.
Yes.
Eventually, they selected me, and I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, but no, but listen, just to tell you just a little bit about those things, and that's what I realized as well. When trialing for the Bulls like youth teams, is the fact that when they ask you to play more than one game, just know that that was a good sign that you probably had made the team.
Mm,
Because I remember in my under 18 year for Academy Week in 2005. And dude, I was hungry when I went to go play my trials. I didn't pack lunch. So literally I was playing on an empty stomach. And I played well
mm.
first game. Second game, I could feel myself, feeling lightheaded and stuff like that. And then by the time the third game was coming, I told them, listen, I'm playing on an empty stomach. And they were like, all right, you can sit out. But what I learned from that is that when they ask you to play more than one game, that's usually a good sign. So always take that as a good sign.
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they named the start like the Blue Bulls pack, like the
Hmm.
23 players that have been nominated.
Uh-huh.
And then when I heard my name, my father even hugged me. He's like, "Yes, you've done well. Like
Mm,
this was the moment." And then we went to the locker rooms. They explained the logistics, what's gonna happen.
mm-hmm.
Must meet up the next day to explain the culture of the game of this team, what we're gonna stand for, the protocols, everything. The ride. I was just there for it.
That's amazing, man. That is freaking amazing, good. And I'm sure you must have been over the moon, man. Because look, like I said, we've had this conversation plenty of times. To get the opportunity to even put on a provincial jersey, man, is one of the biggest honors, especially when you're a kid from South Africa. Because you got to think
Mm,
about it. There are so many kids that are playing at school level.
mm.
So how many do you think would kill for the opportunity just to say they played in a provincial game, just to get 5 minutes in a provincial match? So many, would give an arm and a leg for an opportunity like that. So you got to experience that, and you really should be proud of that. Um,
Indeed,
and
indeed.
use that as motivation, obviously, going further. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So, which tournament did you guys go play in again when you made the team?
And for 2018, we played for the IPE, is the Interprovincial Tournament.
Okay.
It was normally hosted between either Joburg, Pretoria, or Durban.
Oh
But
yeah.
that year we were being hosted by Durban, the Sharks.
Okay. Yes, I remember. I remember. I remember. Oh, and how did that feel? I mean, you're a Shark supporter, if I'm not lying, right?
Yes, indeed.
So now,
I'm not
how
going
did it
anywhere.
feel to be playing in Durban, Sharks territory, but you are rocking blue? How was
It
that?
it felt honestly, it did not feel weird because it felt like a challenge to bring to the Sharks team. Be
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, I'm the player that's gonna cause havoc. I'm the player that you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
fear. So it felt like a battle,
Yeah.
battle of
Yeah.
the best teams, and I
Uh,
just like competition, and it just worked
okay.
out like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. And did your parents did they travel down with to watch you play?
So what had happened was, I don't know the specific date, but the whole team decided to go, probably assuming the 14th, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think it's on a Thursday. So
Uh
my
huh.
parents packed all my stuff and sent me off to the bus. And then I think the following day they woke up early and then drove to Durban.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. 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 Well, at least you had that moral support, man. That's really amazing. To have your parents at your provincial game. It's quite a special. It's quite a special thing. So it's good that they were able to travel down and witness you play. That's really good.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Okay. So now, okay. So let's move past the provincial stage. Now let's look at your last year in high school. You had the honor of being selected for an SA Select side that traveled to sunny California, in the United
Mm.
States, for a rugby tourney. Yeah, tell us about the process of that selection, and yeah, just tell us how the experience was, man, because I'm sure it was probably a mind blowing experience to be in America.
Yeah. Basically, what had happened was I was playing for the youth tax rugby. I think I've been there for about 6 to 7 years there.
Yeah.
So now on my last year, because I think I was turning 18, I was at this point of like, no, I'm giving everything I've got. And then we played our last game against the Grizzlies, which I think situated in Northwest. No, sorry, Pretoria North.
Yeah, Pretoria North, not Northwest.
It was like, so then a few days later, I get a message from one the admin of our group, right?
Yeah.
Saying, how are you, Luolo? You had a great game, and we decided, like, would you like to join this team? We're going to this tournament in America. We'll be playing against the national side. It's going to be a great opportunity for experience. The fact that they said a tournament to America, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, no.
That's all.
Forget everything else. Forget everything else.
To
America.
America. For
Yeah.
years, like almost every South African or every kid or person dreams about going to America, and like the moment you get an opportunity, you just like, let's go.
True, true, true.
And then there was a budget that needed to be also adhered to. Like, okay, this for this visa you need this much, and it
Hmm.
was like, I'm assuming I'm throwing around numbers. It's about 47K in total.
Plus
In
minus, yeah,
total,
give or take, plus minus.
plus minus for the whole tour. And I was like, that looks intense, but let me not just turn it down because you can't turn it down a good opportunity without making a plan. So I told
Exactly,
my parents,
exactly.
what's happening. They're like, wow, okay, let's do this. We don't know how we're gonna get the funds, but through Christ, we'll do this. Great. They offered the donation sheet,
Hmm.
and then for to sponsor for the tour, and then our first lady in our pastor in our church was like, okay, hand me the sheet, let me help you with this. So literally almost the whole week she didn't even ask people to sponsor. She was like, okay, we have this child who's going to play rugby overseas. We need
Uh-huh.
this much. How much are you willing to sponsor? I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
Wow, man. Hey, community. Hey, that's the beauty of community, bruh. That is the beauty of community, Um, wow, that's really an amazing story, Lola. And then, I mean, things planned out, things worked out well. You went
Mm.
and played in the tournament. Okay, so now let's talk about your time in America, like when you guys first arrived to when you were preparing for your first game, and also while doing all of this, you're taking in, being in California. How was that?
It was it was weird because I'm going in to a country with this perspective that I got from TV shows,
Mm.
movies, and I had this imagination. Okay, America is gonna be like this. They're
That
gonna
all
speak a
girl, that
certain
all girls
way.
look like they're in a music video.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's not like that. Mm.
when we got there and we met the people, and like, oh, so where you from? I'm like, we're from South Africa. Wow, you from Africa? Africa. Like, damn, we couldn't even tell. We thought you were American. Like we didn't know you guys like speak like this. I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is. I promise you. But thing is, it's because of the media that is fed over there, man. They will never show the side that we South Africans know. We are when we're over there. It's what the media portrays of us is really disappointing because when they show images of Africa, they always show, huts. They always show those naked babies with the big bellies with flies, flying all around their faces. I promise you, that is the image a lot of Americans have of Africans. They don't know places like Sandton exist. They don't know, we got cities like Cape Town. They honestly don't. It's only the ones that go to university, and even then, usually the ones who do like postgraduate studies, because you usually find that sometimes their program maybe is tied to a program in South Africa, and then they might have to travel to like maybe a UCT or Wits or a UJ or a Tux type of university. So they spend like maybe a couple of months over there. So those are the ones that really get to see that, okay, everything we're being fed in the media is a bunch of BS. But yeah, I totally get it. All right. Anyway,
That's true.
I'm just blabbing. Okay, so carry on.
So after that, they say, "Oh, like tell us about South Africa. How's it like?" We're explaining how our system works that side, and like how how they are surprised with how we call traffic lights like robots, and how they are, and how we are fearless to just jaywalk in the
Oh yeah,
streets.
that's our MO, man. Hey, we jaywalk.
It was just weird. And like they were so fascinated at how much we take the sport seriously. Like,
Mm,
because
mm.
America it's still currently developing in the
Yes,
sport of rugby in the
yes,
major league.
yes.
So obviously they have good training facilities, good training routines, but then they don't have what's the word?
Mentality, the mentality.
Exactly that
Mm,
mentality. Because like we our team were not best physique, like more like athlete built, but we knew the mentality,
mm,
the roots, the way around the laws, everything, just
mm,
how the
mm,
tactics, how to play. And
mm,
they were always wanting to learn, like, okay, what happens when you're offside, or what happens if the defense line is rushing? What do you do? These tactics. So it was a great experience of like teaching
mm,
people
mm.
of a sport that we dearly love.
Yeah.
And it was just like a great way because we all come from different backgrounds, different origins, but the
Mm.
one thing we meet is the love of the game.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay, well, it sounds like you had a good time, man. Sounds like you had a good time. All right, and then off the field, were you guys really? Because I mean, you guys were under 21, so you couldn't exactly go club hopping. So, just in terms of off the field, you know, activities that you guys were able to do while you were in California, like, can you highlight a few that really gave you good memories of the trip?
One in particular, I don't know the correct name. We went to Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland. Yeah, Disney California. That's Disneyland. Yeah.
Disneyland. That was like it was weird because my friends they're like, my guy, like you are 18, like you are an adult. What are you doing getting excited about Disneyland? I'm like, whoa. It is
They don't
like it's not
understand,
every,
man. They don't understand.
like like it's not every day that you get to see Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck just like right here.
True.
It was
Facts.
just amazing because like you get to experience your childhood again. The stuff
Mm,
that you see on TV every day, every time you come back after school,
mm.
and now you go into the land,
Where they are.
and now we get to see exactly. We got to experience type of cultures where you don't really get to understand on TV. Like normally, we don't really understand the diversity of America as
Mm,
much. Because
mm,
when we are there, we would assume there's going to be white people and black people. But
mm.
then when you're there are lots of people that are from the islands that are Samoan, a lot
That's
of
true.
people that are what's
Mexican.
this
Mexico.
Mexicans.
Mm.
Some say what's the other one? Dominican,
Yeah.
Haitian. Sorry for the mispronunciation, but like it is like so much diversity. And now we're going to Disneyland where we can see, oh, Pocahontas came from this culture,
Mm,
and Frozen. You see medieval times, Germany, German culture. It
hmm.
was just nice, and then the fact that we could just enjoy being
Yeah. No,
childish.
that's honestly, that's all, that's what it's all about, man. And yeah, no, look, Lolo, don't worry. I'm 33 years old, but I still love going to Disneyland. There's one here in Japan as well. Yeah, I'm still about that life, man. I think I'm always gonna be about that Disney life because um, it's it awakens that inner kid in you, and that's the
True.
beauty of it. And you need that in life, man. With the way things are in the world right now, man, there's just so much, when you go online, so much negativity, that you got to
Mm.
navigate through. So to get a chance to step into a space like Disney where you can reclaim some of your childhood or that childlike joy, take it, man. I say take it. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
All right. Okay. And then, okay, so after the American experience, okay, you finished high school. Now let's move on to your first year university. Coming out of high school, now you're transitioning as a scholar and as an athlete. Um, so yeah, tell us about the experience, man, of just, you know, being at university as a student athlete.
it's honestly because right now obviously we've been affected by COVID-19. Some of the procedures would not, excuse me, would not occur normally.
Mhm.
So it was kind of nerve wracking because we have this thing of, okay, when can we actually go train? Because they weren't really clear of like, okay, training will be at this time, they will do recruitment, etc. So it was very nerve wracking because like, what am I gonna do? Will there actually be rugby? Because
Mhm.
during that like the beginning of this year, we were like, oh my gosh, like, will this virus ever go? Like, are we gonna live with this? Are we no longer gonna experience sports unless you already had a contract? Like, what is going on? It was nerve wracking,
I
and
can.
plus balancing it with school. Like, okay, will there be contact classes? Like, what's gonna happen? How are we gonna learn? It was just like a lot of. I was just going with the flow.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah.
So, like literally, when we started the first week of school, everything started slowly making sense. Okay, we're gonna have online classes. If you need help, there will be tutors waiting at campus following procedures of COVID-19 and
Mm,
now. So everything made sense. And then the one thing that I was really focused on, okay, when is rugby getting back? When are we doing this day? And
mm.
then I saw on the Instagram of UJ that okay, we're gonna have our first practice at this day, this day. I'm like, yes,
That's good.
let's go.
That's really good.
Got there, it was just a different atmosphere. Cause what high school, the coaches there, or would normally be like teachers who know rugby, if you get
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah, yeah.
But now in university, their main job, these coaches, is to coach you guys.
Exactly.
They wear the Lions uniform for staff members, and you see the Varsity Cup symbols everywhere. You
Mm.
see coaches that you've seen on TV during
Mm-hmm.
the ages of rugby. You see players that you saw on TV, like who's this Lions player who's the eighth man, Daimani.
Warren Whiteley.
Even Warren Whiteley, I was like, there's a time I bumped into him, and I was like, what is going on? Like, this is all happening too fast. Like, the transition from high school rugby is just like, yeah, being the cool kid, playing sports, highlights, Friday or Saturday. But now this is like a slow introduction to like, this is serious.
This is your life now, man. But tell me, is Warren Whiteley a coach or is he playing?
Honestly, from what I've heard, he was now because he has experienced a lot of injuries, so now he's just helping out with lineouts for the Lions team,
Okay, so he's a coach. He's basically the lineout coach of the
basically.
Lions. Okay, man,
Yeah.
that was one heck of a player, bro. Warren. The story that a lot of people don't know is that Warren was actually first at the Booker Rugby Institute with us in 2007 for about 3 months, and then he just, I don't know, he found it difficult to balance studies and rugby. And to be fair, they were not giving him a fair chance, man. So he
Mm.
decided to return to Durban and join the Sharks Academy. And man, when he made that move, it was basically over from there. Warren just flew from there on. He just kept on getting better and better with the Sharks, and then from Sharks, he left, and I think he joined the Kings. From Kings to Lions, and that's where things really took off for him. But one thing I'll tell you about that guy, that is one of the fittest rugby players I've ever met in terms of like running stamina. That guy, bruh, we were all coming back from December holidays, and that guy, he ran the best, like he ran like the best time for, I think it was a 3K. When everyone else was unfit, that guy clocked it in good time, you know. So he was just one of those guys, man, that just really had a discipline for the game from an early stage, So he was definitely a guy to look up to. And I trained with him for a few times before he left. And then, yeah, man, it was just good to get to train under that guy and just really learn from him, because he was just, he's always been about that hard work life type of thing. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. All right. So back to you. Okay. So now you're witnessing all these things, seeing all these people you've seen on TV, and you're a little starstruck. So, how's it been, just settling in and, starting now to sort of balance or find your way between rugby, school, and obviously, I mean, let's face it, you're at university, a bit of a social life, hitting the streets.
Basically, what I come to realize while trying to balance all these three aspects of my life is that there's not, as we talked earlier, it's just, there's no balance. It's just figuring things out. Because as a sportsman, there's no specific amount of hours that you can put to say,
Fact.
okay, this is enough to play performance my best. Because normally, like on social media, we're like, okay, you can train about 2 to 3 hours, and you will perform at this level. It really does not work like that.
That's true. That's
So, like, I have to balance not only my fitness and also my diet.
yeah.
And while doing that, it's hard at university allowance. And like, you can't just also always every day eat chips, potato, like
No.
bread and butter.
No.
Have a certain you need to have a
No, you
certain
can't.
diet
Yeah,
to help
yeah.
maintain
You can't live
muscle
on junk
mass.
food at all. You can't.
Exactly.
Mm, mm.
uh Managing even like practice, because there are days where academics, there's just a lot going on. There's
Mm.
assignment due at a short span of time, there's a test, a random quiz, random lecture, and now 5:30 you have to be on the field, boots on, performing at your peak.
Yep,
It was like, how am I doing this? And like the coaches don't really care what's happening with the academics. Like,
that's true.
not in a bad way. They're like, yes, you chose this life.
Exactly, man. You chose this life, so you gotta, yeah, so you gotta be about it. They really don't show any sympathy, bro. For them, when it's their time, when it's your time to use their time at training, or playing games, they won't let you off. They won't be like, oh, we're sorry. He had a really bad day at school. Nah, they don't give a crap about none of that. When you get your boots on and you on that field, you have to zone everything out and focus on the task at hand, you know?
Exactly. So now I'm like, how do I do this? And only time they'll show sympathy is that when you're writing either that day
Mm,
or the complications around that. Other than that,
okay.
you need to perform at your peak.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
then you get to realize, okay, there's different training styles, because how you normally be trained in Pretoria will not be the same as how you be trained in
In
Joburg.
Johannesburg, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
Exactly. Now you have to adapt to different calls, different how forwards must act, which position to play, and like how to maneuver all these things, how to adapt quickly, and also how to meet up to the challenge, because you are not the only prop there.
yeah.
You are not the only wing there. There is a constant fight for that number three, number one jersey.
Mm, mm,
And
mm.
it's just like intense, and sometimes it'll be overwhelming. And
No,
then
that's
even like
true.
balancing social life.
Mm,
And now you have to accommodate time, because now you have to prioritize. Okay, I would like to go out with my friends, but I have a game tomorrow. I have practice at this time. I can't be drinking at all because it's not going to be helpful to my body. I can't be doing all these activities that affect my number one priority, which is academics and sports.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, but it's the sacrifice that you gotta be willing to make, Lolo. Like if you're about it and you know why you're doing it, then the
Mm,
conviction is made. Then it comes easy. Well, not necessarily easy, but it becomes a no-brainer when you got to make the decision. That's what I mean to say. Because if you know why you chose this life of, getting into the UJ rugby program and also pursuing your studies, then whatever distractions, I mean, because distractions are all part of life. They get thrown at us, I guess, to test our character and to basically test how serious are we about this thing that we are trying to chase.
mm,
So I think you being able to make the right, the decision that will benefit your rugby and school, that means you're on the right path. That means you're on the
exactly.
right path because, like I say, distractions are always going to be coming at you, and it's just really about how much it means to you firstly, and how much you really want to make something of this. Because once you get your studies done, the doors just open rugby wise.
Mm,
It becomes easy for you to get a work visa. Let's say if you decide, um, after playing, for years at UJ, you graduate, and then you decide that, what, I actually want to experience rugby, in a different place. Having a degree makes it easier for you to actually get a work visa or to qualify for a work visa in that specific foreign country. So
mm-hmm,
that's why I always encourage, student athletes like yourself that, listen, even if you go pro in SA or whatever happens, finish your studies because then that makes your options wider for when you decide that you don't want to play in South Africa anymore. That degree not only becomes something that's educated or um, that signifies that you've completed your education, but it also becomes your document to the world, basically. you know
mm.
so yeah, man, that's why, keep at it. just keep at it. I know the first year is always the toughest year, but like I was saying when we spoke on the phone earlier, if you can survive that without feeling the need to drop out or to drop one of the activities you're doing, then that means you're on the right path. Yeah.
Being built
All right.
different.
Yeah. Okay. So now that your first year is done, just tell us maybe 2 or 3 goals that you're setting for next season, for season 2 of your life.
So
It's like a series, my man. It's like a series.
Indeed. My goal right now at this point is, since now our season is done, so we're about to start between late January to around February, is to be more disciplined on preseason, because that's where the real work,
That's
honestly.
true. Facts, man. Facts. The preseason is the most important.
So normally I downloaded many training routines that work for me, because
Okay.
not every training exercise would honestly work for me, because like I realized in Pretoria, main exercises are just running till you fall. With me, it only works with explosive workouts that
Okay.
also help with stamina and strength. So
Okay.
I'll be focusing on those, and then I'll be better than I was, but I'm also like, by the time season starts, have a platform where I'm like, okay, my coaches can work with this, since I'll be playing for under 21, which can be a roll call if I perform well, and then God forbid there'll be injuries, but it will happen anyway. That they'll be like, okay, we have a player that's ready. So I just want to prepare myself for the next 3 to 2 months to be ready for that call. Just say, okay, Varsity Cup, that they're needing you. And also, with also academics, because I can't neglect that, is also realizing, okay, study methods. Never leave things to the last minute, because those things
Yeah. Don't
will
do that, man.
overwhelm you.
Night before does not work in varsity. You will fail. Do not do night before. I promise you.
It
That
really
it
does
does
not.
not work.
And then my goal is just realizing that do not pressurize myself, because like what I realized, most of my classmates choosing modules that are not them. They choose modules just because it sounds nice. I'm doing BCom, I'm doing accounting, management, etc., etc., doing engineering. Meanwhile, it's not them. It's just what their parents would like them to do.
Exactly, man. And that never works out for anyone, Lolo. Trust me. Not pursuing what you love never works out for anybody, because the very same people that you're trying to impress, they don't have to wake up every single morning and do the job once you graduate in this thing. You do.
Exactly.
You do. So yeah, man, just make sure that whatever you choose to study, make sure it's something that every day you can wake up and have some form of excitement about getting to do it, because it gives you purpose.
Yeah,
So what are
exactly.
you studying? What are you studying?
I am studying a BA in humanities,
Okay.
where it's a combination of modules that you handpick for yourself. So
Okay.
the requirement is that you have about 4 modules. So I picked history, politics, sociology, and English.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. That's good. A lot of studying work, but that's good. That's really good. Man, that's
It's
a
just
lot of studying.
a lot of studying, but
That's
then
a
it,
lot of
it
studying.
comes to also stuff that you enjoy and stuff that you are able to understand. When it comes to like stuff like sociology, it's like study of community, how it affects people, and vice versa.
Yes.
You're able to uh, incorporate that in real life, because I like to study things that are applicable in real
Exactly.
life.
Facts, man. Facts. Definitely. No, that's important, Dolo. And a most, like an important question as well is: are you having fun while studying these subjects? Are you enjoying them?
Indeed.
Okay. That's all that matters. That's honestly, that is all that matters, because it would not make sense for you to do a subject if you're constantly dreading it. Constantly dreading it. If these subjects are benefiting you, and which all of them can, because I mean, like you said, sociology, that's community. History, that's learning about a lot of artifacts and a lot of factual info. And English, you can actually develop your writing skills. That gives you an opportunity to be able to become a writer at some point if you want. It's going to give you the
That's
skills
true.
you need to be a published author at some point if you want.
Mm.
So like you said, it's things in real life that are applicable for you. Sorry. So yeah, man, I say do what makes you happy, man. And just make sure that you're enjoying your university experience.
Indeed, indeed.
Mm.
And for first year, I'm actually pleased, and I'm
Mhm.
hoping next year the new adventures.
Yeah. Yeah, no, look, I'm sure season 2 will bring some good surprises. Just make sure, sport wise, advice I'd give you, man, is really get in the gym this off season. Like, don't mess around. The good thing about December, January, Feb is there's no explosive. You just go hypertrophy, pick up some, some weight, muscle mass, obviously, and from there on, obviously, because you're going to be doing a lot of fitness before the season starts, you're going to drop a couple of those pounds in any case, but you're going to pick up a lot of muscle, so you're going to be solid muscle. And I mean, for a guy who's playing, what are you playing? Prop, right? Prop or hooker?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're playing prop, I mean, that is the ideal prop that they want nowadays, is to try get you guys more mobile, because the level of like Varsity Cup, that's a pretty quick level, and you actually realize that the higher you go in terms of the rugby levels, the more mobile the players are in the positions, because it's a faster game. That's the only difference between the pros and amateur rugby, is that in the pros, the guys are so clinical, the guys are so focused, the game is quicker, the mentality is different,
That's
obviously.
true. That's true.
The physicality is through the roof. So that's why I'm saying get the conditioning underway. And yeah, man, make the gym your best friend, dude. Even when you go back home for like Christmas and stuff, don't let up and see that as a vacation for you. Nah, you're gonna have to put in the work right up until Christmas. Your only off days should only be Christmas, Boxing Day, and New Year's Eve, probably New Year's Day as well. Those are the only off days you have. Those four days are the only days you have off in
Exactly.
December. Otherwise, you gotta get yourself into the gym. And I mean, off that, just make sure you use your downtime to just relax, hang out with obviously friends from Pretoria, spend time with the family as well, because as the years are moving on, you don't know how much time you're going to be able to spend at home, because once the rugby kicks off, once you reach a certain level, you're going to be always gone. Ask me, I know. You're never going to be at home. So yeah, but the most important thing, dude, is make sure you enjoy and just really fall in love with the process, and it'll be good to you. If you're true to it, the process, it'll be good to you, and you will reap the benefits. You will reap the rewards.
That's true. True.
Yeah. Anyway, man. Yeah. So that brings us to the end, of this podcast. Like I said, you're not going to be a first-time member. We are planning on having you back for probably season 2, and just to check on you and to see how things are going your side. How you're finding your second year at university study wise, and how you're finding your rugby journey to the pros in your second year. And you're 21 next year. Your body's still going to mature more. Varsity Cup might come calling. Who knows?
Indeed,
Lions, rugby
indeed.
talent. You never know. Those are the beautiful things about the game, man, is that 1 year could be, it could be your breakthrough year. It could be the breakthrough year where everything changes, where the one day you're playing for UJ, and then the next, the bright lights of running out for the Lions, might be there. And with the world going back to normal, the fans are going to be allowed at the stadiums now. So, yeah, man, just take it all in and enjoy, man. Just take it all in and enjoy.
Yeah, we'll do. It's just a journey.
All right. Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. Okay. So before we go, Lolo, is there anything you want to say to the listeners?
Uh, Young athletes, student athletes, take it one day at a time, because this life is a whole movie, and you just have to see it through.
Okay.
That's all I could say.
All right, man. Thanks. Thank you, Lolo. I'm sure a lot of student athletes, will take that to heart. Yeah. I'm sure they'll take it to heart. And yeah, like I said earlier, a lot of student athletes are going through what you're going through, just trying to make sense of it all. It's a completely different life from high school, but you're handling it. And that's very good to see. We look forward to your progress, Lolo. And yeah, we'll be following up. So until then, take it easy, man.
Thank you very much.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.